Riley with was it Peace of Femme? Yes, I think Peace of Femme. It was a conversation on Peace of Femme. And I think Efia Odo was asked a very simple question. What is the relationship between Efia Odo and the father? He was asked a lot of questions, specifically about the family she belongs to. And clearly speaking, she made her view clear to them. But one thing she said is about a connection with the father. And I was not too happy about that connection with the father, because I believe that no matter what happens, Efia, per what you said, your mother left you earlier when she was 1. That's what she said in the video. Left the father when Efia Odo was 1, and came to America and left her with the grandma for 5 years, and came for her from the grandma to America when she was 5, and later went back when she was old recently to go and see who the father was. Based on that, she doesn't have any connection with the father. Now, the side that I am interested in is, now, Efia Odo happens to be a citizen of America. Based on that action or whatever transpired that the mother left, I mean, I don't know if that is how I'll put it. But Efia Odo today has the citizenship right in America because the mother left her and came to America and brought Efia Odo to be part of the business in America. Now, out of this thing, today, we can have Efia boldly saying she has a citizenship in America. I'm not saying this to say to the fact that Efia Odo is is right or wrong in what she said. But I want to bring us to the point where all of us will want to believe that what the mother did was wrong, or what the mother did was right, or what the mother did had nothing to do to make Efia Odo not to become what she's supposed to be. A lot of us have grown up and we have been told stories about who our mother or father was.
It wasn't easy. You know, I live with my mom, my sister.
And it's not been nice with us.
I can say my mom was a single parent, but I had a stepfather, but he was.
Let's see if I can hear Efia Odo's voice.
Although, why are you laughing?
You had a stepfather, but it wasn't fun.
No, because the father would involve himself. My mom left Ghana when I was like 1 year old. And then since then they hadn't been together. And see, I was with my grandmother when I was living in Ghana, my aunt. I maintained my papa and chain. To me, free Ghana at the age of 5, no, I'm Americano. No communication with my dad until I came back to Ghana. Even then, no. For the 3 years I was in Ghana, I wasn't really talking to my dad because there's no relation. So I didn't have a father growing up. I had my mom who played as my mama and papa.
Now that you've settled, I mean, you are doing well. Figures are over with you. I mean, by the grace of God, you're fine. Have you tried?
Can you hear me?
With Daddy?
Oh, for about almost 2 years now, I've.
Can you hear Efia Odo talking?
We communicate, we talk, you know, because I feel like it's not his fault, and it's not my mom's fault. And she tries so many times to bring him, but guys, so I've tried to, you know, talk to him, even to say I love you is hard for me, but I say it just for him to feel better, because I'm his only child, basically.
Wow. When you say, do you mean it?
I don't mean it, but I would wish to mean it, because I've always wanted a father. Like when I watch movies and I see every time I talk about my dad, I cry. Every time like I see like movies when the daughter and the father are together, I start to cry. You know, when I see kids playing with their dad,
Okay.
especially the daughters, I start to cry. And I always say that fathers should be in their daughters' lives because the world is very dangerous when you don't have a father in your life. Men tend to take advantage of females who are very vulnerable. You know, I tried to see father figures in the men I was dating. You know, I tried to get the love from the men that I was dating, like that my father should have given me. So I mean, it's not my father's fault that he wasn't in my life. So now I'm trying, but it's not easy because me no. What's I say? Me no. Even right, me even like I can say to my boyfriend's father, I'm closer to my boyfriend's father than my father. And I wish sometimes I'm like, Efia, just call him. My friend come in five. Let's meet friend fight 5 times a day. I don't pick up because it's like, what are we gonna talk about? He's like a stranger to me, and it's not his fault. But I just wish that I had that father.
September 18th October 20.
Oh, growing up for me, it wasn't easy. You know, I lived with my mom, my sisters. I can say my mom was a single parent, but I had a stepfather, but he wasn't a father for me. Although, why are you laughing?
You had a stepfather, but it wasn't father.
No, because a father would involve himself in your life. They care about you. They speak to you. But I didn't have that. You know, me and my mom, I said, but something, opposites in the house. I had to go to therapy. I had counseling. I went to see a psychiatrist. Many times I tried to commit suicide. So I didn't really have an easy upbringing. The moment I got liberation was when I came to Ghana.
Where is your daddy?
My dad is in Ghana. My mom and my mom left Ghana when I was like 1 year old. And then since then they hadn't been together. And I was with my grandmother when I was living in Ghana and my aunt. I mean, free Ghana at the age of 5, no, I'm a Americano. No communication with my dad until I came back to Ghana. Even then, no. For the 3 years I was in Ghana, I wasn't really talking to my dad because there's no relation. So I didn't have a father growing up. I had my mom who played as my mom and papa.
Now that you've settled, I mean, you are doing well. Figures are over with you. I mean, by the grace of God, you're fine. Have you tried reconciling with daddy?
Oh, for about almost 2 years now, we communicate, we talk, you know, because I feel like it's not his fault, and it's not my mom's fault. And she tries so many times to bring him, but that's so I've tried to, you know, talk to him, even to say I love you is hard for me, but I say it just for him to feel better, because I'm his only child, basically.
Wow. When you say, do you mean it?
I don't mean it, but I would wish to mean it, because I've always wanted a father. Like when I watch movies and I see every time I talk about my dad, I cry. Every time like I see like movies when the daughter and the father are together, I start to cry. You know, when I see kids playing with their dad, especially the daughters, I start to cry. And I always say that fathers should be in their daughters' lives because the world is very dangerous when you don't have a father in your life. Men tend to take advantage of females who are very vulnerable. You know, I tried to see father figures in the men I was dating. You know, I tried to get the love from the men that I was dating, like that my father should have given me. So I mean, it's not my father's fault that he wasn't in my life. So now I'm trying, but it's not easy because me no. What's I say? Me no. Even right, me even like I can say to my boyfriend's father, I'm closer to my boyfriend's father than my father. And I wish sometimes I'm like, Efia, just call him. My friend come in five. Let's meet friend fight 5 times a day. I don't pick up because it's like, what are we gonna talk about? He's like a stranger to me, and it's not his fault. But I just wish that I had that father.
September 18th October 20.
Well, thank you all very much. You heard it. So, if those of you who have been following me, I asked myself, and the topics we have treated here is how to marry as a Bonwan. Efia said there was a man in the life who was a stepfather, but was not a father. Now, if you hear the story carefully, she says she has no love for the father because he doesn't know the father. That's nonsense. Because you see, Efia Odo must know that immediately your mother introduces you to somebody that this is your father, take it. Because your mother says so. That's what your mother said. Your mother says, this is your father. And you can boldly say that you want to love him, but you say it, but you don't feel it. We won't blame your mother. We won't blame your father. You said you will not blame him because your mother left. But the fact that your mother has pointed you to a man called your father, what are you expecting? This is what I have to tell the rest of us. That the video I played, that your early years are your any years, when you give the time, you don't get the money. When you give time, you don't get the money. When you give the money, you don't get the time. The fact that the man is not home doesn't mean he's absent. Efia Odo has grown to this level and looking for fathers in the fathers of the boyfriends. This is Jimmy. And I think if the mother hears this, she should feel hurt. Efia Odo mama tidia ne baba na kan. Eso di yaw. Because if Efia is looking for a father, Efia Odo is looking for a father in boyfriends, and he's saying girls are vulnerable. What are boys? But the mother has left Ghana when Efia was 1 and left Efia with the grandmother and the auntie. And when Efia was 5, according to her, the mother came for her and brought her to America. Whatever the mother left for 4 years, she got it. Brought you Efia Odo to America to become a citizen. That you have a dual ship now, you can come to Ghana, you can come back here. If this is how you want to pay your mother, you are being stupid. Now, if as a result of this, your mother and father were not connected, I tell people every day, if your mother was not nice with your father, or your father was not nice with your mother, you are none of them. You are not a mother, you are not a father. Learn to be a child. How do you sit on a big station with a caliber of person you become to tell the whole world that your father calls you 5 times and you don't pick? Efia, you are a stupid girl. With no apologies. You can get angry. I don't care about who is getting angry. But you see, this is the challenge I have with you. Whatever you achieve on earth without a father will never ever get there. Your mother left, took you 1 year from your father and left you with your grandmother. If they are raising you, they should raise you to the extent that the day you see your father will not regret, but will rather feel very, very proud of who took you away. If Efia Odo, you have lived from 5 years to this age with your mother, and you are telling us that you and your mother are like Bonsamni Nyankupo, whatever you said, and you come back and you can't recognize who your father is, your mother must be blamed for making you know that your father is nothing. Whoever married your mother, whoever became the next husband to your mother, whoever came to step into the shoes of becoming a husband to your mother was not your father. But today, Efia, you have come to see who your father is. You didn't choose your father. Efia Odo, your mother chose who to give a vagina to fuck her. So when today, out of that particular action, you are still alive, and you are ignoring the cause of your father because you don't have love for him, and when you talk about it, you cry. My sister, you are fortunate your father is still alive. There are many that they hit them away. Before they come back, they are taken to the graveyard to go and pay last respect to dead body. If your father hears this, do you know how hurting it looks? Do you know how hurting it will feel? Why are we growing and not learning? No caretaker can be an owner. Now hear me. If you go to sites, people where they are building, and there's a foreman or a caretaker, he has a bunch of keys. Hear me? Without labels, that young man can easily identify each key to every apartment, even though he's not the landlord but just a caretaker. The main owner who is the landlord will find it difficult identifying the key to open doors. Hear my story. No matter what you do as a caretaker, you can't own the place. Your mother made a choice of a man who can be a husband. What was left to you, Efia Odo, was to respect the man as your mother's husband, not your father. And come out of that relationship to prove to everybody that your mother raised you well. A good product. That your father will regret not marrying your mother. But if you can go through the hands of your grandmother, go through the hands of your auntie, come back to your mother 5 years in America, and you are what you are today, that you can sit already and say you don't have love for your father. If you don't come again, you need to retract this statement and apologize. Because your father was not there because your mother took you away, and wherever your mother took you today, you have the gracious effort to appreciate the fact that you Efia, you have a citizenship in America. That you have been able to move here and there. You come to Ghana, and according to you, for 3 months or so, you were able to sleep in Golden Tulip. Oh, your mother has done so. Whatever your mother went through, whatever shame and disgrace she went through, so as to make sure that life will be better for you, appreciate the woman and stop speaking loose. And you be behind here. And call her mama social media to move Jimmy. And you send that you be say how was life like you for? I grew up in America with my mother, and I came back to Ghana to associate myself with my father, and I thank God I've come to me a father. Asa! One wati and Tibi Abeka. One say, well, Jimmy, said the Wako baby. Look, I don't want to go back, but go back to YouTube. Watch it. How to behave as a stepchild is there. I've treated it. Because your stepfather can never be your father. But let that child who you took from the man as a born one go back to meet the father and realize that I have become the better thing ever. Efia, I said there are a lot of people like you who were whisked from Ghana, not for any wrong reasons. Your mother left you at 1, somewhere left at 6 months, because an opportunity to look for their destiny was prevailing, was on the table. And they chose to go and look for it against who you are. Your mother didn't drop you in the gutter. Your mother didn't throw you away. But according to your own self in the video, according to your own self in the video, what happened was simple. Your mother gave you to your grandmother and came back for you when you were 5. Have you sat down to ask your mother, how did you survive in America to make sure that I Efia Odo today have become a citizen here? Muni anama Jimmy. Namadi ayaw eshem perform. Wo Efia Odo. O ma mi ampere ambaga na me bring ani so anye amba brochira mbe ye de ye nya nkanaka wo na a citizen. And now camera foot is a broni. O ma mi na see them here. Mujimi amete hono. Ye ntetemo. Ye mo te say nkokɔ ne nre. And it's a warning to the rest of you. Munim kasa. Assembly be some media America. I talk about trending issues. Oh, one that can be, but somebody will learn the wrong thing. If there are people that their mother left them and went to Nigeria, and struggled their whole life, came back with nothing. You grow up one day and they tell you that you are being attacked by a spirit because a certain shrine is demanding for your life. And your mother brought you to the shrine. You won't ask why your mother brought you there. You grew up and there were incisions on your face. You are basa basa, and you are insulting your family. In your time, the only place they can take a child that is convert. When conversion was common, no medicine. There was no way to deal with common cold. The shrine was a place we believe in. So when you grow and you realize that your mother took you somewhere and they put some incision in you, don't come and insult her. She went through it because she wants a better future for you. That's enemy chichapa. I slow, Bibi Shehoding. I don't know who has come. I don't know who has appeared. Somebody have joined the link, I think. But Efia Odo, I believe that this your video will teach you a new lesson. That no matter what, your mother and your father deserves to be appreciated. Efia Odo, your mother and father deserves an appreciation. What your mother has gone through, I know will be a no trasi. No trail call for super American can we Efia Odo. Naga will be a she no one can send tia mame. She na nya say utima ya wo desem for bojo so. Some party say of friend 5 times one first say woni odo man na we Jimmy for. Who man can cho opani. We do am na who kan ka ba nipa. Ana mu ya de man ye nipa ya sa. O ma mi mo pampo a, o ma mi ja wo wan, hwe o ma mi ye nipa o. There are women who get opportunity and leave that 1-year child with a man. Your mother took you to your grandma and auntie and came back for you. Shadia Woka. And Kalamunim the FMO. Munim kwaya faso eto pioto shamo. Nana wenyi. Now what to me drip. Enya smooth skin say Efia Odo. And then when you din say who don't your friend Efia Odo Jimmy. Be one look as I have love. That is why I call myself Efia Odo. But your father, you can love. Repent. And for the rest of you who have similar stories, because your mother is not telling you the right truth about who your father is, be careful. Be careful. I say be careful. Because if not, you regret one day of what you have said. Many of us, just like Efia Odo, have done this thing to ourselves. Many of us, just like Efia Odo, have some level of hurt against our parents. Hear me. No matter what, it's better for you to get rid of that hurt. Get rid of that hurt. Remove it from your system. Take it out and tell God, break me, mold me, and make me new again. Maybe you want to sing that song and say, Spirit of the living God, fall on us. Whatever your mother has done, whatever your father has done, that you were told. Remember, nobody hates their child. But it was for a reason. And that reason might not be nice. Nobody hates their child. I believe that your mother did what she did because of a reason. Nobody can justify it. But don't sit anywhere and say, I hate my father. I can't love my father. I can't love my mother. Hey! Hey! Tell Efia Odo. I say, if the father sees this, enkoye. Etina kebe yanka. Onfa kwenya iso. Nonfa chopa. Kesie bi pa. Emu odu. Mejele chopa bi onu ehu obe fili. Emma ne papa. Non kan che ne papa say. Onim. Ena waye. Onim. Ena waka. You two hearing me now. Madam, you are just about to leave your child and run away because of an opportunity. Do it well, so that in future you'll regret. It's an opportunity that you want to take advantage of. Look, there's nothing too bad to take such opportunities. I tell people every day, if you have an opportunity to have money, and the money you have can feed your family, and that same money